Welcome back, ladies and lizardmen, to Reptile Ramblings. I'm your host, Nate Truax, as always, joined by my uh, comedically hindered co-host, Mr. Bryant McDowell.
Second only to you, Nate. Only to you. What's up, Ramblers?
And today we are once again joined by Mr. Zach Davis. Zach, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all having me back. We talked for a long time last time, so I think we're going to have another good one.
Yeah. This time we're going to be talking about. This time we're going to be talking about a little bit more diverse subject. I feel like instead of just king rat laser focus, it's going to be a bit more of a rambling nature, if you will.
Yeah, instead of going over the wall, we're staying within our borders, so to speak. And kind of more in your wheelhouse since just to give the slip up a little bit already, we're going to be talking mainly lampreys and sows because you're situated in a pretty sweet spot in the country. You're in, what would you call that, lower Appalachia?
I consider it Southern Appalachia. If you couldn't tell by the accent, it's certainly Appalachia.
And there's one thing Appalachia's famous for, herp-wise. It's salamanders, so.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, Bryant, a little update. I texted you this, but a little update for the Ramblers. Found my first herps of the year. Found a couple of ampistomas for my research project.
Yeah, man. It seems like those first rains that hit, eastward here have really sparked the herps to just want to come out. And as I say that, we're now going into another cold spell. So just a little bit of herp hope.
Yeah.
So
yeah, really y'all are doing better than me. I haven't even got out this year yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm in the same boat. Nate is the one who's taking this shit serious.
Well, I kind of have to for my undergrad project.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really positive. Hopefully, more rains will come. Either the next couple of weeks. And as I alluded to a couple episodes ago, I will be joining you. Come rain or come none, to just help out and see what goes on.
Yeah, but here's a photo of some of the manders I caught. So.
Oh yeah, dude.
Mary Mandarin.
Yeah, it's 7 maculatum and 2 jeffersonianum.
So when you're setting your minnow traps, what are you using for bait?
No bait at all. Just set along logs basically to kind of follow them into it. Because if you think about it, they're terrestrial like 90% of the year.
Yeah.
They eat on land, so they're not really in the pools to eat. They're in there to get it on, so to speak. So,
yeah.
I'm not really.
Well,
I'm not really.
And is it usually the ladies that emerge first, or is it the guys?
And then the males that emerge first.
Yeah, it looked like it was majority male from the looks of it. I made sure to snap a picture of all their cloacas so I could sex them later.
It's funny with like those big sows; they're very noticeable to tell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It looked like I don't know if any of you guys watched A Night of the Seven Kingdoms or not.
Can't say I have.
Okay, then
maybe going back. Maybe.
No, it just came out, so never mind. I was going to make a joke about something that happened in there, but never mind.
The reason I asked about bait is there was a study done on, I think it was maculatum. I'd have to go find the study.
I think I might know what you're talking about.
It's the glow stick survey. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Yeah, I was talking with the professor I'm doing my research project with, and he's like, yeah, that does seem to show a little bit of a draw, not a significant amount, but, it's going to be a study that's going to take place over the next couple of weeks where I'm going to be, basically setting the traps every day during the work week for several weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think we have the budget and it's 9 traps in total. It's okay, a glow stick per trap, 9 glow sticks per day. That's 45 glow sticks per week. That's probably going to be in the neighborhood of 250 glow sticks. I just don't have the time for that. So
fair. it'd be interesting to like try and replicate the study in some good like wetlands and see like, okay, we have 3 traps without glow sticks and 3 traps with, and see kind of what they draw towards.
That's the thing. At least one of those wetlands, we don't know if it's a good wetland because this is a survey project I'm doing, because we're basically looking at all the pools and saying, okay, what's utilizing these pools at which time of the year,
right?
Basically, and one of them like in the past decade or so had a road development happen right next to it.
Oh, so yeah, that's
messed the hydrology up a little bit, so we don't know if anything's still using it, if so, what. So it's more just a discovery project.
Hey guys, just a quick reminder, we are once again sponsored by Serpentine Expeditions, a brilliance company, the purveyor of high quality herping expeditions all over the globe. As you can see here, they still have some expeditions available. They actually announced a couple of really cool expeditions for 2026, including Sonora. Ecuador's still open. That's been open for a while. I don't know why you guys haven't been jumping on that. Ethiopia, that has a lot of promise. Zimbabwe, Sumatra, Komodo, that's really cool. So a couple of really high-end destinations to go to check out for herping. And yeah, just great guys to go herping with. And may I remind you that once again, use code CK25 at checkout and you get $100 off of your next booking with them. So $100 that can upgrade your flight in to have a bit more leg room. So yeah, want to be a bit more comfortable when going on your herping trip, be sure to use our code at checkout. And with that, I'll get back to the episode.
Right on
the frontier type shit. But that's it. Fascinating. Now we're realizing and learning that more amphibians and reptiles utilize or can see UV or have hidden UV patterns. Or never, like with the chameleons and even the sea turtles. That was really cool years ago, seeing the sea turtles shells have intricate UV patterns. So who knows?
Which makes sense, because I'm pretty sure UV is the spectrum of light that could penetrate water the best. I believe so, right?
Yeah. Y'all's guess is as good as mine, man. I just like snakes.
Yeah, like, because I remember red spectrum light, that's the first that gets filtered out. And I think, blue, which goes into ultraviolet, UV, that's the wavelength that penetrates water the deepest. So that's kind of why the ocean's blue. So.
But I mean, it's still fascinating with the chameleons to have that, because they already color change to signal whatever. So I don't know. The more you know.
Yeah. Well, a whole lot of groups of animals have some sort of UV sensitivity in their eyes, like especially birds are obviously. Yeah, reptiles for the most part have some sort of sensitivity to UV. So.
Just again, understudied, obviously, but it seems like we kind of are in the reptile renaissance of research. I'm not trying to quote Zach, but we're in the age of snakes. Snakes have recently radiated into like so much.
Yeah.
Come present day, so I mean, it's kind of cool to think we're in the age of snakes. Or like what, 3,500 species? Crazy.
It's nuts. And people are more interested in snakes now than I think they ever have been.
100%.
Like I see new herpers come. I don't know if you guys feel this way, because Bryant, I've known, like, you've been around since at least, since I've been around on the like social media side of herping. And nowadays I'll like log on to Instagram and be like, who the hell are these kids? And where did they come from? And it's like, so it's like more people are getting into herping and more people are getting into snakes. Which I think is really cool, and I enjoy seeing it, and hopefully that helps more people enjoy the research and stuff behind it.
Yeah, Zach, this actually relates to a point I was going to make. How old are you?
I am 22 years old.
Okay, so you're actually 6 years younger than me. Dang.
Yeah.
But yeah, my guess is it's because the generation that grew up on Jeff Corwin. Austin Stevens, most obviously Steve Irwin.
Yeah. Well, it's his birthday today.
Hey, shout out to the legend.
Today is Steve's birthday, so
He would have been
it's
64. He would have.
dude. What I would give. A bunch of my friends went to Australia recently, went to the zoo and all that.
Yeah.
Yep. I saw that.
You know, so they're all doing their social media posts about all that
Well,
stuff.
Nate, you speak on that, but it seems like the newer generation.
I was about to
obviously
get to that.
streaming. What? Oh, don't take it away, then.
I was about to say, the generation that grew up on those, like, I guess, Animal Planet Discovery Channel figures, that, the key hosts that were the engine behind the golden age of Animal Planet, as I like to call it.
Yep.
Though that generation is now grown up, and now they're having their own kids, and they're passing that on to their own kids. So it's just, thanks to Steve Irwin, snakes and reptiles don't just explode in popularity because he made reptiles cool. Let's be honest about it.
Dude.
Yeah, some people, plenty of people back in the day thought reptiles were cool, but for the most part, it was a taboo almost. It was almost like made you almost like a pariah in large parts of the world.
But Nate, I would also hearken that nowadays it's more due to social media and like YouTube, because obviously streaming has taken over everywhere. So really, you don't see too much reoccurrence of like O'Shea's Big Adventure or Crocodile Hunter. I mean, Jeff Corrin, thankfully, he's somewhat still relevant because he's doing different programs nowadays. But still, for the most part, kids and teens and college students.
Well,
really,
I think a lot of it with YouTube is like you have your, like Noah Fields and Will Robertson and even David Oren to some capacity. Like I have friends send me David's stuff all the time, and they're like, "Do you know this guy?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do."
I'm gonna sound like the guy who's not on the internet at all, which is the opposite of the truth. But I'm sorry, I don't recognize those names.
That is okay.
David, and there's also Caveman Wildlife we discussed, yada yada.
Yep, Christian Cave. Noah and Will are like the titans of herping YouTube.
100%, dude.
Really, not NKF herping?
That is NKF.
No.
Yeah,
okay.
Noah Fields.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, that is the titan I can think of immediately.
Yeah, Noah is
all
the
kind
titan.
of in the same age class, give or take, even with us, So I mean, and for the most part, I'm pretty sure you guys are the same way. We have busy lives, so really, I really have no time to get on my phone like I used to when I was younger. So it's like we've kind of passed the torch, so to speak.
But I was gonna say, do you know, if you look at it, who's the guys who are doing the streaming, who are doing the YouTubing? They're our generation. They're the generation that grew up on Steve Irwin. So
sure, you always hear them talk about Steve Irwin, Jeff Corwin, Austin Stevens, all those guys, man. It's odd because when I watched Austin Stevens as a kid, I was like, why is he finding the snake and then taking a bunch of pictures of it? And now there looking at it. And now I'm like, oh shit, that's me.
Yeah.
It's like you just that one clip. I think it was Dan DeVille be like, "Oh my god, I get it."
It's like I get it now.
It's like I now have the same tism.
Yeah, I sure do, dude.
Full blown.
Oh, I'm gonna have to ask you, Bryant. Now that, like I said, I got my tax return back. What's the model of flash you use for your camera? Because, like I said, I think we mentioned on the Columbia trip. For some reason, the flash I brought just didn't work for the life of it. So,
well, I'm glad you
see any milks in Columbia.
No.
No.
Oh, that Columbia trip was.
It was something else. It was interesting. No, I'm glad you brought that up, Nate. I'll let you know off air. I know the brand is Godox. That's all I got. I'll give you the model number later.
Okay.
Yeah, Nate refers. He mentioned this because my flash system has a built-in. They call it a modeling bulb. So basically, you could turn it on. So basically, if pitch black, you have something straight from the speed flash source. So you don't have to add additional lights if you so need to.
Yeah. Because man, sometimes that makes it a pain to get real good photos. The photos
you can't focus.
You can't focus. Photo gets blown out. It's like, well, I can't even save.
And I can't even take credit for it. I asked one of these herpers. I think his name was Harry's Wild Adventure or something. I asked him, and he spread the good word. So that's good because there are some people that do, for some reason, what's it called, like stonewall you when it comes to wanting to know better, photographic equipment. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah,
I've never had that problem, but knowing how herpers are, I believe it. I believe every bit of it.
Yeah. Speaking of being able to afford parts, I'm still doing a little looking into starting a t-shirt line somewhere, and I just had this other idea literally this morning while driving for a t-shirt, and it's just like a profile of an indigo snake, and it just says Roid Racer.
Roid Racer.
Roy. See, I've always called indigos Gucci racers, and it would be kind of cool to have a t-shirt with an indigo with like Gucci sunglasses on or something. I think that'd be pretty cool.
No, I just call them that because, after I had that interview with Zach, he's like, oh yeah, indigos are on the same tribe as racers. Like, that makes perfect sense when you look at them.
Yeah.
And they do look like a coach whip that took a bunch of TRT. So.
Oh yeah.
That's.
Roided Racer. I like that. That definitely does belong. I mean, there needs to be more indigo memorabilia printed out there. So I'm on board 100%.
Now, the small text where I put the scientific name, should I put Cooperi or the
Cooperi is the correct one. Corias is the old one, and Cooperi is the Eastern indigo.
I'll talk about whatever the Texas indigo is. That what's the
Melanurus?
Melanurus.
Depends on which species of indigo you put on there, because Melanurus is a pretty big species complex. That includes blacktail and I believe also yellowtail.
I mean, if you want to support subspecific with the Texans, it's like Arabenensis or something like that.
Arabenus, yeah.
So yeah, that could be in the works. That would be cool.
Just maybe have two lines, one with Cooperi and one with Arabenus, but has like a Lone Star in it somewhere.
That'd be cool. Sure. Hey man, if pop milk can be popularized, we can do something,
I have another one of Kyle's t-shirts on the way, like as we speak. I got a Get You Some t-shirt, and I'm going on my first snake hunting trip of the year here in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited for that. So I'm gonna bring my Get You Some t-shirt with me.
Sweet. Do you remember that a couple years ago when there was that kerfuffle with him using the acronym Pop Milk? I forgot what he said. It was like a company or something, but they were
so that was the Milk Snob fiasco.
Oh.
And so the Milk Snob fiasco was started by David Deem. He put that in one of his, and y'all know David Deem is my homie.
Yeah.
He's like my best friend in the world. He put like Milk Snob in his posts, and they got crazy. Like, there's this company, I guess, called Milk Snob, and they got because it was like for like baby bottle formulas or something like that. And that was like one of the few times I've seen the herp community actually come together, because everybody's like
together.
Everybody was like posting milks for like a month straight until they just stopped harassing people. It was great. I remember that's a fond herp community memory for me.
I just thought I brought it up because I just remembered. I was like, wow, that was an interesting moment.
Especially now, me being a milk snob. Yeah, that was good times. I got some milk snake pictures in there for y'all.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find them.
You brought it, so obviously you are the milk snob. Not only do you keep them captively, but you've seen quite a bit. I mean, you're situated yet again in a good spot to see quite a few. You can see. Maybe you can list it off better than I can, but Black Kings,
yep,
Eastern milks, obviously. Do the speckleds come your way?
So with specs, Tennessee has. I guess we can segue into Lampros in Tennessee this way. But so, not temporalis. I'm losing my mind. King snakes have a strange distribution in the state. There are Black Kings throughout the majority of the state, and in the western alluvial floodplain, which is like essentially like the banks of the Mississippi River, they do start to integrate with speckled kings, and around Memphis and like North Mississippi and stuff like that. There are some that like I would call speckled kings, like personally. I would look at them and go, yeah, that looks like a speckled king, but they primarily have Black King influence in them. And the further north through the floodplain you go, the less influence they have, but they can still look really cool.
There seems to be a common trend with speckleds or Black Kings, or even just the same case like the Shawnee King of Southern Illinois region. That's because there's really not much of a barrier for speckles to cross over and give our Black Kings influence as well. So it's very interesting, the story there, because this is like Southern Illinois, Northwestern Kentucky, Western Tennessee.
Yep.
I mean, there's a few states just that.
Yeah, and I still call them Shawnee Kings. I don't care if I sound like an old timer. I still call them Shawnee Kings because they're still cool and they're still real unique.
100%, I can get behind that. What about Calligasters, moles or prairie?
So we have both. In the eastern portion of the state, in our like Ridge and Valley provinces, because Tennessee has like a crazy amount of mountain ranges. You know, we have the Blue Ridge, and the Smokies is situated in the central Blue Ridge of Tennessee. Then once you get out of the Blue Ridge, you have the Ridge and Valley Mountains, which cut through from like Bristol, Virginia to like all the way into Northwest Georgia and parts of Northwest Georgia and parts of Northeast Alabama. And in our Ridge and Valley Mountains, we have mole kings. And I have a picture. The only mole king picture I have in there is from my neck of the woods. And it's the only one I've found to this day. And that's a Ridge and Valley mole king.
Did you send one in the file?
Yeah, there's one in the file somewhere. You'll have to dig. I'll
try and find it.
I will pull the drive thing up here on my computer and see if I can find the one.
Are mole kings full species status, or are they still under Calligaster?
They are full species status as far as I know, but I don't agree with it personally. It is, Nate, for your reference, it's an image file that begins with 2021 1019. It is like about halfway down.
Oh, I think is it like a solid brown?
Yeah, it's ugly. Yeah, it's like real ugly.
Okay, so going back, so they're like a more colorful yet smaller prairie king in a sense.
Yeah. This individual is not spectacular by any means.
Looks like it's in shed. So.
Yeah, that was my lifer mole king. You can kind of see there's pattern like starting to come through, even though it's in shed. But
there's like some slight. I don't even know what to describe that color. Like reddish blotches.
Yeah, they have the reddish blotches. And they're much smaller. That is an adult male. They're not very big snakes. Whereas prairie kings routinely can hit like 4 feet. I've seen pictures like 5 foot prairie kings.
Oh yeah,
like some really big, robust animals. And mole kings seem to, at least through most of their range, except in certain parts of like the East Coast, mole kings are pretty cryptic and hard to find. And that seems to be the case here in Tennessee. That's the only Tennessee mole king I've ever seen. And
I guess you could speak on the side. That's also saying something, because Calligasters themselves, obviously you can flip them and yada yada, but they're pretty secretive as far as lampreys go too. And these guys just taking like 2-3 notches above.
Yeah, they're one of the holy grails of herping in the Southeast. No matter what anybody tells you, they're very, very cool snakes, and they're very secretive. I have that spot, unfortunately, is now a neighborhood. I watched it get bulldozed. That's the only like big colubrid I got at that spot. And the following spring it got bulldozed and is now like an upper class neighborhood. And that, that sucks, but at least I
don't mean to cut in. I saw a melancholic post about, we're getting to the age where parks or preserves that we were playing in as kids are now parking lots and yada yada. I was like,
so like my area, because I live in Maryville, Tennessee, it's like a suburb of Knoxville. Maryville used to be wild. Like when I was, a kid and like into my like, late teens, like before I moved to Northern Virginia, there were places, just fields everywhere and woods, and Now I come back, and I live in Maryville again, and places that I found corn snakes and rats and stuff are now food cities and gas stations and, housing developments. And it's, it's all in the name of progress, but for some reason, but it sucks to see.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's melancholic for sure. Everybody loves this area, and I get it, but like, leave some for all of us that were here first.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, if they're setting up shop like that, at least you would hope the Pantherophis will stick around, kind of, to feed off
They
the
probably
rats or
do.
whatever.
Yeah, they probably do.
That reminds me of the a lyric from the old classic the John Anderson classic Seminole Wind. Progress came and took its toll.
Yeah, dude. It always will.
It's very accurate.
I don't know if any of you guys ever listened to Seminole Wind, but freaking masterpiece. It's about the Everglades too, of all things. So
that does not shock me.
Oh, there's a new Everglades documentary just dropped a couple days ago on PBS.
I need to watch it.
Me too. I'll probably do it tonight after we hop off.
Dude, it's feeding night. I got 55 snakes to feed.
Well, you can multitask. You got like a TV in there, or phone, laptop.
Yeah, I got my phone and my laptop. I can make it work.
You can multitask. Yeah.
I don't know about the
You
laptop.
got some, since we're still on the Lampro trope.
Yeah.
Did you have any photos of prairie kings, or was there anything else to touch on regarding mole kings?
Nothing really else to touch on with mole kings. Now, that being said,
they're kind of understudied as it is.
They are. So I don't have pictures of prairie kings because I actually have never seen a prairie king. Now, that being said, a buddy of mine, Ty Williams, he's a newer herper, but that dude, I'm just going to take him with me whenever I want to find something rare. He got like 4 prairie kings in a day, like in Tennessee, like trying his first time. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to go look for them with you.
So he's
good strategy.
You're basically just using him as your lucky rabbit foot.
Dude, he is. I'll send him to one of my spots and he'll be like, hey, I found this. And I'm like, I've never seen that there. And that's what I've been looking for there. Just stuff like that. So if Ty ever sees this, he knows I talk fondly about him.
I mean, that's a good strategy, man. You keep those guys close to you,
Yeah, dude.
Herpers are 1 in 1,000 or whatever.
Yeah. And but yeah, the mole king thing, the paper that elevated them to a separate species, I disagree with heavily, because y'all are in academia, y'all are in snake hunting.
I don't know.
How do you create a paper? I'm talking about Frank Burbrink. And if y'all have studied rat snakes and Lamprepeltis, y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Burbrink sampled 1 mole king from Tennessee and no prairie kings from Tennessee, and called everything up to a certain point mole kings, even if they were absolutely prairie kings. So I will send y'all that study if y'all want to look at it. It is the worst sample size I have ever seen of any study ever, and it should not have been published.
I was gonna say, with a sample size that small, how to get past peer review?
Look, man.
Academics I don't know.
Academics are going to hate me for this, but it seems to be I am going to push out literally anything I can to get my name on something. I don't care how wrong and understudied it is. And look, I got friends that are academics, but that kind of seems to be the case with some of these studies that are being done.
To be fair, a lot from what I know from academia, which I haven't gotten there yet, a lot of it is you need to get a certain number of papers done in a certain set of time.
Yep.
So
I'm not necessarily wrong with what I'm hearing.
I have suspect that a lot of splitters are just trying to find something to basically keep their job. So
yeah, sure.
And it's perfectly fine for us, the public, to refute it. We don't have to accept it as gospel. So
yeah, yeah. I think everybody will be back at Roger Conant's taxonomy in the next 10 years.
Yeah, I I wouldn't be surprised if academics just keep arguing about it just for the sake of publishing papers. So everyone just eventually settles on like, yeah, here's what it was in the 90s. We're just going to stick with this for now.
Literally, that's how I view everything. Like, is this what it was in the 80s or 90s? Okay, yeah, that's what I'll call it.
Because I remember mole kings as obviously being under prairie kings as a what was it, Rhombu maculata?
Rhombo maculata, yep.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think I'm still gonna stick with them like that. To me,
that's what I do personally.
No.
But yeah, I've got a bunch of lamprey pictures in there for us to go through, and obviously salamander stuff. So y'all just fire questions at me, and I'll answer the best I can.
I'm curious. You know, there are some habitats in Tennessee that I particularly like because I've gone to Missouri quite a bit, to glades, and Tennessee have, you guys call them what, knobs or?
We call them cedar glades.
Yeah. Okay, well, in the same concept, but still.
Yeah.
They're rare habitats in Tennessee, but still.
Extremely.
They're very cherished.
Yeah, well, you say cherished until you actually go. Because of, and I'm going to get up on my soapbox for this one because I'm glad you brought up the Cedar Glades. If you are seeing this podcast and you want to come to Tennessee and you go herp there, treat it right. Because I have friends that live there that don't even go anymore because of how like screwed up it is. People flipping rocks and not flipping them back, and it looks like people just guess it. It's the same thing happens in Missouri. Like, yes. Guys, let's treat our rocks right, because look, everybody has a right to enjoy nature and everybody has a right to herp, but make it to where like the people that live there can go again and enjoy going again. Because a lot of us just feel it's not worth it to herp there anymore, which is sad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind calling out two spots in Missouri. They're well known. They're pretty much desecrated every year. Victoria Glades and then Valley View Glades. Victoria to a lesser extent, but still, when I go there, when I used to go there, I mean, flip rocks galore. It's like people didn't even make the effort to put it back. Or if it was a rock too big, don't attempt it. I remember when I was young and naive and I would try to flip bigger rocks, but then I realized I don't want to put out my back for like several weeks. I want to.
Yeah, dude.
And
like the thing is the last time I was there, which was 5 years ago now, I found a milk snake that had a rock dropped on its back.
Oh.
And it was like dead. Like somebody had like flipped it and dropped a rock on it, or something had happened and they had crushed it. And I don't see that stuff often in the field. And so when I did, I was just like, dude, like, come on, we're like actively destroying wildlife by trying to recreate this way. Like let's treat our rare and fragmented habitats with some respect.
Yeah,
because this is very rare habitat in Tennessee.
Yeah. That poor milk snake ended up on the wrong end of the Three Stooges going herping, it seems like.
Yep, and that seems to be a problem that we're encountering is people who herp, and they are like Larry, Moe, and Curly. They just wander around in the woods and do stupid stuff trying to catch snakes, dude. It's nuts.
Yeah. I was going to say, talking with a friend of mine from out in Utah, Salt Lake area, he says, yeah, herping around Salt Lake is just not worth it because you look up on the hillside and every rock's already been flipped over and not put back. So
really, that's surprising.
What are people looking for out there? Mountain kings?
Maybe
boas?
Boas? No, not in Salt Lake.
There's rubber boas out there.
I don't think it's Salt Lake. I think they're more rubber boas. I think more coastal.
I got no clue. Utah's landlocked, so they're somewhere in Utah.
Maybe I'd double check.
There are people that are going to crucify me for not knowing my rubber boa.
Mountain kings, but yeah, I can't really think of anything else that would justify that kind of flippage terror besides. It's not that serious.
I know people tear stuff up for mountain kings. Like people take like crowbars and like break rocks for Zonata. Like I've heard stuff like that before. So
that's nuts.
I've heard of people taking like car jacks to cracks to get Zonata out. Like crazy stuff like that.
You become a coal miner just for one species of snake.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I've never worked that hard for a snake in my life. I mean, I'm never going to. Like, that's just like, If you can't get it, dude, just let it go. Whatever. You'll see
And
another
like
one.
you're missing the point. You're there to enjoy the habitat, the bycatch, just nature. Like it doesn't have to be your
Yeah.
specific target. Obviously, we all have a target in mind, but just
Yeah.
enjoy the other stuff that you see.
I'm gonna keep it real, man. I enjoy the habitat. I enjoy being in the habitat probably more than I do actually finding the snakes. That's just an added bonus.
100%. 100%. I mean, and I've been telling Nate, I've been becoming a birder through and through. And
Dude, me too, dude. Me too.
I know the inferior archosaur. I agree, but they are pretty to look at, Nate. They're pretty.
Dude, who cares? Birds are cool, and anybody that tells you otherwise is dumb. No offense, Nate.
No, I don't care either way. I just make it as a joke. So
yeah, I do too. But like, I really like birds. I've been lacking on birding this year, mainly because it gets dark at 5 o'clock, and I hate it. So
yeah,
I remember when I was working at my previous job where I had to get up early in the morning. No, wait, that wasn't that. It was the job before that was work a second shift, and I would just stay up late at night. I know I stayed up too late when I could hear the birds start singing at 4
when you can hear the bird,
yeah,
yes, sir.
At 4 a.m. It's like, guys, the sun doesn't rise for like another 2.5 hours. Shut up.
But they do.
Those damn doves.
Yeah, dude.
No, it's like I know it's springtime when I hear the blue jays trying to ruin my morning. So.
Oh yeah. My Appalachian grandmother calls those the mouth of the woods, and
that sounds like
sounds like such the perfect. That's like the perfect way to describe a blue jay ever is the mouth of the woods.
That's also like the perfect Appalachian grandmother saying as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if blue jays are the mouth of the woods, then obviously you guys get crows and occasionally ravens make it up there. That's like spirit of the woods, spirit of the mountains.
Yeah, it's actually funny you bring up ravens, because like I'm in the Smokies, and this is like a bird related thing, but we have both crows and ravens, so it's real cool. If you're in the high elevations of the Smokies, like the spruce fir forests and stuff, you get ravens. If you're in the low elevation, you get crows. It's real cool.
That's why I brought it up, because I mean that's their furthest southeastern extent is around there. That's really neat. I don't think I've ever seen or been in a spot where you get 2 corvids. So
it's real neat. Me too.
Technically, blue jays are a corvid, so.
I know. Gosh, we're technicalities, Nate. I know. 2 black corvids. Let's go.
There you
go. Where's those king snake photos? Come on.
Yeah, dig through them, buddy. Just pull the drive up and start scrolling through them. I got 51 photos in there for you guys.
Oh snap! Well, we probably won't go through all of them, but still. But
oh yeah, now we're talking.
Oh, I guess this is one thing I'm curious. Nate has pulled up a photo of a juvenile eastern milk snake, but you guys also get a Suspilla too, or am I wrong?
So that is a Suspilla.
Oh.
So that animal I found in West Tennessee with some friends in a stack with we were going through a 10 stack, and there were 35 snakes in one stack, and 3 of them were milks, and that was one of them.
I'm just impressed with 35. I mean, wow.
Mostly ribbons, but we had like ribbons, rats, a garter, some small fossorials, and then 3 milks. And so that is a Suspilla. Suspilla are a West Tennessee special. And they are, look, man, don't tell anybody, but we have the best Suspilla in the country.
Looking at that picture, I can't argue with that on that one.
Oh, and that one's not a great looking one either.
well, heaven protect my eyes if I do see a great looking one then.
They're in here. I've got pictures of the great.
They're gorgeous. But then now, obviously, you're talking to somebody that's from Illinois, where I would rep that we have the greatest Suspilla too. But
I also cannot disagree with you there. Yeah. Southern Illinois has some incredible animals.
But I bring this up just Triangulum's influence. It seems like no matter where you at, there's always going to be some influence of Triangulum.
Yes. If you go all the way back to there they are. These are the 2 other animals that were sharing the same stack.
Smoker man.
Yeah, so those are your typical Suspilla. Yeah, we have Suspilla and Easterns. Easterns in the. So if you look at like Nashville on a map, from Nashville east are easterns, and then once you get over the Tennessee River into West Tennessee, you get Suspilla.
I'm gonna be real frank with you. I kind of prefer that one.
Hey, dude, ain't nothing wrong with that. That thing is still a smoker.
Yeah, everybody's preference. I like this one has like odd blotch, like
Yeah.
it has a couple odd blotches. I love the unique ones.
Oh yeah, it's a super unique snake. I like the high white. Like I'm not usually a fan of high band counts, but that one's real nice.
Screamers, yeah, for sure. Ramblers, definitely. This is one you'll want to pull up on YouTube for. And like these adult Suspilla, I'll never get over Suspilla, man. I love them.
Dude, I have, I have
Even
a handful of Suspilla.
Even this one has a unique like some bands don't go all the way.
Yep, and then the flaming on the sides seems to. So those two snakes, I do believe, are siblings. They're the same age class. They have the same general look, and we've recaptured these individual snakes a few times over the years.
Cool.
And so seeing like the flaming and stuff is real cool, and I do believe they're siblings based on their size class and such, and the overall general phenotype.
So do you guys do the layering technique when it comes to laying out cover or yada yada? Or
that's the only way to look for milks, man.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like milks, that's just how they eke out an existence. I think that like the stack cover, like it gives them a good thermal. I mean, you're not wrong. It gives them a good thermal gradient. It creates a layer of darkness that they just really seem to enjoy. Have y'all seen the Pop Milk video where Kyle's like, "You're laying your stacks wrong. Here's how you lay your stacks."
Yeah,
like that, and Kyle's been proving it. Like him and Clint posting videos of them getting 13 annulata in a day. Annulata used to be like alterna level, like rare, quote unquote, in South Texas when like the old timers were hunting them because they could only cruise them. And it seems like Kyle and Clint have figured them out. Big shouts out to them for figuring out the way to lay.
That series that Kyle did definitely mentored me myself when it came to laying out cover.
Me too. Me too.
Major props to those.
I've had nothing but good results, so thank you, Kyle.
You can forward me that link. I'll definitely.
Oh yeah.
Set some. I have a lot of old roofing tin that I need to set out. So.
I mean, he puts it into it is a science. Obviously, it's a science. But
yeah.
Once you implement it, you just don't go back. Like
no stacks, and like I don't lay single sheets anymore. Like if I'm laying cover for something bigger, like a pine snake or or Getula in general, I'll lay I don't know, I call it like the zipper stack, the way Kyle does his, that like folding door, locker door style, whatever. I'll lay that, but it's just too deep. And I think like that's optimal because it gives the bigger snakes like room to climb in and hang out and get that layer of darkness and the ability to move up and down without stacking it too deep. Because I think for like kings and stuff, they have to have like a decent amount of space while also still feeling tight and enclosed.
Well, you just brought up something that obviously piques our interest. We're all Pitcher Wolves fans as well. At Tennessee, that's probably the cream of the crop when it comes to rarity serpents. So what is this pine snake you speak of? Is this a southern pine? Is this a northern pine? What is this?
I've never seen one in Tennessee. They are, you might as well chase a unicorn, dude. Like you have a better chance of the snake that you have on screen right now. One of the three in those original three that we looked at, that's that same snake.
Okay.
Recaptured a winter, like that was the first time I caught it. And then winter passed, and then the next spring we caught it again.
And most snakes are like that. They don't really get too distressed from like, obviously I'm pretty sure you guys are respectful with the handling, but they don't get too distressed from, tin sites. Like they
Nope.
revisit and they're there because
I
the same case with me.
This is not a Tennessee snake, but when I lived in the Mid-Atlantic and was finding coastal plains milk snakes, there was one time David Deem and I observed the same coastal plains milk snake 8 different times in 1 year, hanging out in the same place. So they have a site fidelity, but not like something like a timber, but they do have site fidelity.
Yeah, and obviously not to anthropomorphize, but obviously they've weighed in the cost to reward ratio of that particular site, and they've and their little snake minds are like, these big hairless monkeys, mess with us a couple times, but we don't get ate, so might as well.
Yeah, we don't get eaten. There's plenty of lizards around, stuff like that. But on the pine snake front, I've been looking for Tennessee pine snakes for 6 years. This will be my 6th season.
Well, I just kind of wanted to address: are they like the Kentucky yellows, or are they more of are they classified as like southerns?
So they're northern pines, and they are yellow.
Okay, yeah,
but they're not all yellow. Like I've seen pictures of some that are white, but I think the like Kentucky and Tennessee pines and like those like big deal unicorn pines are probably their own subspecies.
Yeah.
So I call them Appalachian pines, affectionately. I call them Appalachian pines, but yeah, I think they're probably their own thing.
That's honestly not a bad name or a moniker for them. And yeah, I was just getting to, I think they're all classified as northern pines, but yeah, I agree with you. They're unique in that region.
Yeah, I think you could probably split. I think you could probably split northern pines into like 3 subspecies.
Oh, look at you being a splitter now.
I have no problem with being a splitter as long as it's justified. As long as it's justified. Because I'm a subspecies man until the day I die. Like true northern pines, I could see being like the New Jersey pines or something, and like that kind of pine snake. And then you have like ranging down into North Carolina, like those white northern pines they get in North Carolina. And then have y'all seen any like northern pines from South Carolina? Any pictures? They're wild. They're like half black and half white. They look almost like cracked out chain kings. And I think that they're probably their own thing in that neck of the woods too.
I was gonna say, my sample size of seeing them is limited, but I would say they're kind of like a mix, obviously, right? Like of northern and southern. They kind of got the rosier colors of southerns, but they still have like that contrasty high white, high black of northerns.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of pine snakes, despite having never seen one.
Well, we're all in the same camp, dude.
That describes me as well. So,
yeah, I don't like keeping Pituophis, but I do like looking for them.
They're a little big. But still,
it's not even that they're big. They just like to push.
Oh, with their face or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, Bryant, I really want to see the bulls out by your neck of the woods sometime this summer. So,
hey man, we could do tradesies. I'm coming over to you. You come over here, dude. I'll put you on as well.
Hey, I want to see a bull snake. When are we doing this?
That's kind of another 100% Zach. Come on board. But that's kind of another gripe. I saw. You have your Porter County, Indiana bull snakes, and then you have obviously your Kankakee.
Yep.
I remember we talked about this when we had Jacob on. I'd rather it be go by the Illinois phenotype or the Indiana phenotype because. Yes, that specific phenotype is you can find it around Kankakee region, but you can also find it all across the state. They vary a little bit, but I just think it's dumb to just call them by one thing when really it should just be what they are. In Illinois, they're the Illinoisan phenotype.
I mean, you run into the same thing with corn snakes. Everybody's got an Okatee corn snake.
Sure.
And
it's like just coastal South Carolina.
Yeah. And a buddy of mine had somebody, he was vending a show, and of course it had to be a Tennessee show, because why wouldn't it be? Somebody being like, yeah, I got a good spot to find Okatee corn snakes in Florida. And it's like, no, 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 no. That's not how that works. I have real Okatee corn snakes if anybody wants some.
For free? I'll take some.
Honestly, if y'all bred them, like, I have no problem getting them out to people for a lower cost than they should be, because they're called Red Zeppelin corn snakes, and they're a locality specific line from Okatee Hunt Club, just a random albino that popped out, and they're like the nicest albino corn snake ever. And, you know, they're traceable to wild caught Hunt Club snakes, so they are actual Okatee corn snakes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of corns, you were just perusing. I did see a couple of photos of corn. So
yeah, let's
just briefly mention them in Tennessee, or like just what's their biz here. Are they kind of are they a rare? I would assume they're a rare rat snake down there.
So depends on the part of the state. Where I'm from, in East Tennessee, especially like in the mountains, dude, they're dirt common.
Oh,
like, so that picture was taken on my grandmother's farm. And I said I wouldn't do this, but this is in Blount County, Tennessee. If y'all want to come trespass on my grandmother's farm, try your worst. But you know, they are all over that property. If I have friends from out of state, they're like, I want to see a corn snake. That's where I take them. And I have 10 stacks set up there, and there are corn snakes everywhere. They hang out there and they eat rats, and you know, they get that big routinely.
Yeah, that's a nice, that's a healthy red rat,
yeah.
Man.
Pretty. Yeah. So, but yeah, so they are, you know, they're super common in East Tennessee. The further west in the state you go, they become more uncommon.
So maybe you would know this more than I, but what's their habitat choice? Because whenever you have corns and other rat snakes, usually the differentiation is that, you know, corns are more xeric loving and rats are just more overall generous woodlands, yada, yada. Is that kind of the same gist here?
Yeah, that seems to be the case here. The family farm is up on a hill, you know, up on a ridge line, and the corns just seem to congregate there. Now, you can get them in lowlands. That's not saying you can't, but they are more a upland, semi-xeric, loving species. Whereas, you know, like you said, your black rats are more generalist.
No, I mean, it makes sense that there would have to be some way for the Pantherophis to partition with one another. But then again, I mean, it's kind of rodents galore out there, you know?
Yep.
So.
And nothing gives you a heart attack more than seeing an in-shed corn snake basking in a burned stump hole in Prairie King range.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But yeah, corns are cool. And those kings are from my grandmother's farm as well.
Kings.
Well, thanks for the invite, Zach. We should probably be there in a couple months.
Sure. Y'all are welcome. You can see the crossbars on that king versus the other one. We do have a hair of Eastern King influence in some of our snakes.
So you're saying this would be kind of I forgot what Negrita and Getula?
I wouldn't call them intergrades this far north, but there is remnant blood. In certain parts of the, you know, like in certain parts of the Smokies, you can find snakes that are absolutely intergrades. I wish I had included it. I found one a couple of years ago in the mountains that, dude, chains. It had full chains and everything. So, and it was in Tennessee. So I was like, oh, that's real cool. I didn't know the blood, you know, came across the Appalachian crest. But there are Eastern King intergrades in the area, but these are not it. They just have remnant blood, for lack of a better term.
You know, it makes me think, I wish I was like a prehistoric fly on the wall, just going back all the way through the other ice ages, just to see how, you know, the herp movement was, specifically with our colubrids, just to see what it was beforehand, especially with the pine snakes like we were talking about.
Well, it's real cool because so in East Tennessee, we do not have pygmy rattlesnakes. In West Tennessee, we do, but they're really rare. But there are records from the 1800s from the Knoxville area for pygmies. And I would give anything to see what they looked like. Because if they're like if they were Carolina pygmies or Western pygmies, like I want to know what they would be.
Yeah.
But I cannot be a prehistoric fly on the wall, unfortunately.
No, none of us can.
Just give Elon Musk a couple more billions and a couple more years. We'll see what happens.
He does not need any more money.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, even if they offer cryogenic freezing, if it was under Musk, I might have to pass on it. We'll see.
Yeah.
No, that sounds more like a Bezos thing.
Either or, really.
To be honest. Yeah, this one's definitely that one. Other specimen was definitely blacker with less.
Yeah.
Let's change.
That's your standard run-of-the-mill Eastern milk snake from East Tennessee. That's
real grayscale.
Yeah. But so this animal comes from the Cumberland Plateau of Tennessee, which is a big mountain range that spans from Kentucky all the way down in northeast Alabama. Mm-hmm. And it's dominantly xeric, xeric, sandy, and the dominant stone type there is sandstone. So the milks kind of match the rocks. It's real neat. And that milk in the sunlight, that milk had the color of sandstone when you held it up to the sunlight. So
of course, like all herps, once you have it a camera, the colors don't quite match what it is with your eyes in sunlight.
Yep.
100%.
But that was a very nice snake.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure the Cumberlands extends a little further north because I know the Cumberland Gap pretty much spills down southwest Ohio.
Yeah.
So, no, not southwest, southeast. What am I thinking?
Yeah, I don't know how far up it goes, but I know at least there's a good span of Tennessee that it's in, and the milk there are real fun.
To paint a picture for the ramblers, pull this up, even with a little bit of the sun shimmer, I mean, it matches the rock. It's just crazy. The same.
And that snake was found in a savanna, which I thought was real cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You know what? Yeah.
I was gonna say, you remember? Speaking of this, is more Pituovis, but remember that one was it Jansenide that we were talking about Frank Mazzetti back a couple months ago, and had that one that looked from Mexico that looked exactly like the lichen covered rock seals on.
Yes and no.
It was one that kind of looked a bit like a hunter flower rat.
Oh yes.
Oh man, I want hunter flower rats so bad. But they're out of my price range.
I think they're out of most people's price range. For talk about Elon Musk, he might have a hard time getting his hands on those.
I'm sure it'll be intently.
That's sarcasm. That's sarcasm. If there's something Elon has trouble getting his hands on, it'll be Bolin's pythons, not rats.
There's actually a local guy here that has Bolin's pythons. I don't know what he had to do to get them, but they're cool.
Just don't type his name into the Epstein files.
No, don't do my boy like that.
Obviously, on the Trap Talk podcast, Ari has his podcast, and he's been bringing on Bolin breeders or enthusiasts, and I try to think how many successful clutches were there last year, because I followed Bolin's Facebook group page, and it seems like more and more often than not, people are getting better success with them. Now, when it comes to actually hatching them, maybe that's a different story, but
I will say,
slowly but surely.
I will say it does seem like over the past half decade or so, maybe decade or so, the price has gone down a little bit. It seems like.
Yeah, from about $15,000 to $10,000, but
hey, that's a 33% reduction.
Fair enough. I can't do that math in my head.
Yeah, we got to do that more 6 to 9%. It needs to drop, but I do see myself with Bolins, but when I'm probably 40s, 50s, who knows?
Dude, I'll be damn 80 by the time I can afford one of those.
Yeah, it's interesting that we still have species like that are just tough nuts to crack.
I think there are several species in herpiculture that are still kind of that way. There's still stuff that we don't know how to crack.
And for some of it, it's good reason. Like for some species, they just shouldn't be adopted into captivity, or they can't. They can adapt to captivity, and we should just let them go in the wild.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say, I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems like the trend I've seen is it's tropical montane species that are the hardest to get to switch over. I don't know how true that is, but like
they seem
hunter-flower rats. I mean, hunter-flower rats aren't tropical, but they are. Well, I guess they're cave dwellers as well, but not really montane. Well, montane climate, they don't like it hot. But
Mullendorfi are one of those weird ones because people have success with them and they do breed them, but it's not frequently.
Yeah.
I hear you got to keep them in like pitch black, like completely opaque tubs and stuff, so that they like don't freak out and die. But also like the importing processes is horrible on these animals. Like I don't demonize the importing process, but it's extremely stressful on them. It's different from like one of us going and like legally taking a snake, from the wild here. There's less stress in that than it getting taken from the wild, stuffed in a water bottle, and shipped to a completely different continent. Like there are different ramifications for how the animals live their lives after an experience like that.
Some species handle stress better than others. Mullendorfi, they're already lean, lanky snakes, and like with added stress, I mean that just kind of deteriorates their bodies and their organs. So 100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Tropical montane though, I'll have to keep an eye out for that, or just think on that because
this just like
I know Abronia. Think about Abronia. I haven't really seen Abronia for sale.
Man, I haven't thought about Abronia in a long time.
Same here.
I brought it up a show or two ago, and then it just got me thinking. It's like, when's the last time I ever saw Abronia for sale or even posted? It's like never anymore.
I'll have to think on that and look on Morph Market after the show. And
I mean, that's a tropical montane species, So it's like,
yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. It's interesting.
I don't know. That was just like a gut reaction I had.
It was a good one. It was a good one, but I don't know.
I was just thinking more like, say, like I don't know, like those helmet crested lizards, wherever you have from Southeast Asia, like they're kind of hard to get going in captivity and stuff like that.
Oh, well, I mean, lizards are altogether different ballpark.
Yeah.
100%.
Listen, man, I have nothing but respect for lizard people, and I like lizards, but I hate keeping lizards.
Unless they act like snakes. Like, I have a blue-tongued skink. That thing's about
blue tongues are awesome. Blue tongues are awesome. I do like blue tongues.
They're cool.
Yeah.
They're hardy. Snakes with legs.
Yeah, I had Leachianus geckos for a while. They're all right.
It's like I was gonna say if you get Leachianus, you could get Mullendorfi probably, but
well, the Leachianus I got were because I worked for a lychee breeder for a while. So
okay, yeah,
it depends where they come from. Like I think GT, they're usually the biggest and also the most expensive.
Yeah,
and then there's others.
Mine were pure Nuana, which are the smallest but most colorful locality. But yeah, I mean they're cool. They're just not my wheelhouse. Obviously, the only lizards I like are the slimy ones that live in water and under logs.
Not even.
Speaking of,
not even.
We love our game lizards. Verandas are cool too.
Cayman lizards are dope. I got a bunch of salamander pictures in there too. Being from the Smokies, we have a lot of those.
Yeah.
Salamander capital of the world and all. Tennessee has upwards of I think 66 or 68 species of salamander, and I've seen all but 10 of them in state lines.
Wow. That's impressive, dude. Yeah.
I have a list. I'm missing a couple. More milks. Yeah, there's a cave salamander. They're a weird species in the state. They have a weird distribution and have weird habitat preferences. That one was found shining around at night looking for spotted salamanders with some friends a few years ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do other Eurycia spend times in caves? I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, they do. Longicauda do. I feel like Tulans probably do in some places. But
Sure.
Longicauda, I think aren't the grotto salamanders Eurysia?
Yeah, we touched on this before. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They're
And then you have I think it's like the Georgia blind salamander, that Eurysia species that's pedomorphic and troglodytic.
Let me take a look.
Yeah.
Let me take a
this
look at
guy
the
will
Bible.
know. This guy will know. He has the book. He has
Yeah,
to tell.
there are some troglodytic Eurysia species I do believe that are not Lucifugia. That Lucifugia, it was found at a site that is just gigantic, like limestone, like man-made limestone blocks, and these things just like hang out in the crevices.
Yeah, very similar to what they do in Southern Illinois and the Shawnee. Yeah, it's very cool. Just with a spotlight, you can just flash them, and they're all over the little cliffs.
It's so cool.
They're real
I'm
neat.
that way with green salamanders, man. That's one that we get in East Tennessee that I'm a major fan of.
What's the common name you were asking about?
It was like the Georgia blind salamander, I believe. It's some Eurysia species.
Well, some
Like
are
Texas
Eurysia
blind salamanders are Eurysia.
Yeah,
Like
so
the Texas-
there's at least one.
Yeah, Texas blind.
Eurysia wallacei. That's it.
Yeah, but like Eurysia rathbuni, it's like the Texas blind salamander. So
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I threw some pictures of green salamanders. I did of Necturus at the very least.
Well, you can probably speak on this, Zach.
Robusta, another
Greens are a
blind.
weird one because they're like the only. What is the species? What is the genus? Aeneadus or whatever. Yeah, they're the only eastern form out here.
Yeah. So green salamanders belong to a subgenus called Castaneades, which is specifically green It's their own thing.
Sure.
Them and the hickory nut gorge green salamanders, RIP. Y'all know about those, right? The hickory nut gorge greens.
No, maybe you could educate me a bit. I don't know.
Okay. So as of 2018 or 2019, green salamanders got split up into two species. The hickory nut gorge of North Carolina spans like 15 miles, and it's like its own isolated little thing. And the green salamanders there were found to be their own species, genetically different from Aeneas, the normal green salamander. Well, come to find out, there were only about 250 individuals left in the wild. I saw like 11 in a night at one spot. So if that tells you like how bad they are, Hurricane Helene, the like town that I used to look for them around, Hurricane Helene raised, like completely flooded it out, washed it underwater, gone. And I don't know of anybody that's seen one since Helene, so I have a sneaking suspicion they were either wiped out or are in way lower numbers than they were. The last I heard of it, the North Carolina DNR was like going out to try and collect as many as they could to breed them.
yeah,
But so those guys, I'm afraid, are going to be one of the species I see go extinct in my lifetime.
yeah. I was gonna say, speaking of prehistoric fly on the wall, how many like small herb species, whether it be salamanders, maybe some like really small lizard species that's like located to a very small stretch of mountains or somewhere, have been eliminated over the past couple hundred years just due to
More than we
freak
know.
weather event.
More than we know.
And the Civil War era logging that happened in Appalachia, dude. It breaks my heart to think how many like caudate species, like microendemics, that we lost.
Yeah,
Because Tennessee has a lot of microendemic salamanders, including Desmognathus, which I can get into that rabbit hole anytime. But like we have so many microendemics, and so does Virginia and North Carolina. Like I'm sure we lost so much.
yeah, and we just didn't even know about it because
Yep, didn't even know.
yeah, because
That's the
like,
sadder part. That's the sadder part.
one thing we didn't have like the genetics. Obviously, didn't have the genetic capability to look at them. The second thing is, well, at that time they're just like the lowest level of vertebrates in people's eyes. Them weren't worth looking at for most part. And
Yep.
Well, they weren't even a second thought. Like at least rattlers and snakes, people gave a second thought to either kill or let go.
Yeah,
Mostly kill.
at least snakes came out in the public eye. A salamander is just a it's ugly, God's ugliest creation. Most people's minds probably.
Gummy lizard. I mean, I don't even think they were on the radar. That's the thing. They weren't even on the radar of people's minds.
The Appalachian old timers call them spring lizards.
Spring lizards.
Yeah, because they'd hang around in spring houses because people build their houses over aquifers and spring houses and stuff, and that's where they'd find them, is in spring houses. So they call them spring lizards. That's another Appalachian grandmother saying, by the way.
Yeah, that, like I said, Appalachian grandmother sayings are some of the best sayings out there. So I was gonna say, there's this one spring right next to my grandmother's place that has salamanders that I need to go check out. I need to get the property owner's permission, obviously, before I go in there. But a bit like rural Tennessee, parts of rural Ohio, you go trekking around and so.
Yeah. But yeah, I've got some salamander pictures of some of our not endemics, but stuff that's only got very small ranges in the state.
Let me know.
Say you're a Desmond hog, Ooh, that was a mud, was it?
Yeah, that is a Midland mud salamander.
Should have tried him, right? I love him, man. I would love
Dude, me too. I'm a mud salamander fiend. And they're real secretive. They're real cool. They only live in like seepages and but not every seepage. It has to be like crayfish burrows and sandy, and at least like be bubbling out of the ground somewhere.
Yeah, because these guys are pretty tough buggers. Like, they're real predatory. Like they'll prey on all the other salamanders, and even
them and springs will do the same thing too.
Yeah, I kind of like springs for that. Just the crazy the saber tooth of salamanders.
They are. I've seen springs at like 5,500 feet in elevation in the Smokies in spruce fir forest, completely terrestrial, because there's so many red-cheeked salamanders that's all they subsist off of. They just eat red-cheeked salamanders forever.
That's like a Desmonathus specializing in redbacks, just thriving because of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they look it, man. They're thick little buggers.
They are. They're cool. And our Blue Ridge spring salamanders are the smallest subspecies, and they're still like that big.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think I've seen the pictures of the red cheeks.
Yeah, there's a spring.
I was gonna get to the red cheeks because those were cool looking salamanders.
Well, red cheeks, but also imitators, don't they, quote unquote, imitate red cheeks as well?
They do. Imitator salamanders are a weird one, because I have seen imitators are like a split off species of Ocoee salamander. Like, they used to be considered Ocoee. Ocoee got split up years ago, or they got split off of Ocoees, and then Ocoees got split up further here recently by Beamer and Pyron. So the red-cheeked phenotype is very strange because it occurs outside of red-cheeked range in Ocoee salamanders. I've found Ocoee salamanders in North Carolina alongside like red-legged salamanders, which are a sister species to the red-cheeked, that have red cheeks. The Ocoees have red cheeks despite being in like the heart of Shermani range. So there's something about that phenotype that gives them an evolutionary advantage, and I don't know what it is.
Kind of off tangent, but that Geophis, that Costa Rican earth snake I found, apparently in Costa Rica, I didn't find it, but apparently they imitate a species of terrestrial leech that lives in the same area, or it might be the leech that imitates them. So
that's real cool.
That's what, to make it easier for the ramblers and for Zach, if he hasn't seen it, it's like one of the pinned photos on top of my Instagram profile. So if you want to see what those, looking back now, it's one of the best photos I've ever taken was of that Costa Rican earth snake.
Hey man, you had a couple good photos from that trip, but that's interesting. Vertebrate to invertebrate mimicry. It's like,
maybe it might have been invertebrate to vertebrate. Who knows?
Yeah, one of the snake caterpillars. So you don't know.
Have y'all? This is also off topic. Have y'all seen African centipede eating snakes?
My pictures back in the day, I can't remember. I can't call them the top of my head.
When we're off air, look those up because they look remarkably similar to Tantilla, despite having not ever been close to them. There is something about the pattern of Tantilla and those centipede-eating snakes that benefits these centipede specialists. Like the pale body, the black head, like the African species have that same like body plan and phenotype. And for some reason, like that benefits centipede-eating species. Don't know why.
Would it? What's the habitat comparison between them and Tantilla?
I'm actually not sure. I know nothing about them other than the way they look.
Similarity.
It wouldn't shock me if it was like Super Xeric and Sandy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. Maybe that blackhead with that pale body helps like confuse the centipede so it doesn't, rip the Tantilla's head off before release or not. Who knows?
I mean, I don't know if y'all have ever kept centipedes. I have. I kept the Dahani, the big venomous Asian ones. They're terrifying and awful.
I would like to keep scorpions someday. Centipedes are not on my radar at all. I was like,
scorpions are cool. I like keeping scorpions.
I don't know. I probably would take a crack at centipedes. I find them badass, but maybe I don't know how far.
They're badass until you have one in your house.
Yeah.
Hey, look in the enclosure and think, I hope it's buried itself in the substrate because it would suck if it's not in there.
I had that happen one time. I had one get out. And I was like freaking out.
It's like, okay, this is the one case where I'll be morally okay with putting down a glue trap.
No, I was like looking for it and like tearing my apartment apart. And I was like standing in my room. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like it's loose. Like I have a cat, and I see it come out from under my kitchen cabinets and start crawling towards me.
Ugh.
And I was like, everything in me was like screaming, like, you gotta kill that thing. Like, you cannot let it get close to you. You have to kill it. I fought off like my lizard brain instincts and like cupped it. But
I was gonna say,
they're terrifying.
I was gonna say that sounds like the start to one of those like 50s creature feature horror.
Yes,
it
does.
Or something.
It's like that. What? Like they have like the giant like tarantula movie from like the 50s. Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, it was just called Tarantula. Yeah.
It's like you look back at like those old creature features from like the 50s, stuff like that. It's like, man, I would love to have been like behind the scenes on set, seeing how they try to come up with like the shots for that stuff. But
dude, me too. It would have been dope. I got friends that are real into movie stuff like that are also snake hunters. So, but yeah, the red cheek salamanders are real cool. They're real plentiful. Like if y'all ever come down here, I'll take y'all to see them. And we will. Yeah, that was from this past summer.
That is just a stunner,
dude. They're hard to get pictures of, but they're like the twisted. They're super twitchy and fast. And then when you do get them to sit still for a microsecond, they're so slimy that your flash just bounces off of them.
So you have to like set the ISO to kind of low and had the flash set real low and all that.
Yeah, which is what I had to do for this photograph. But
if we do take this trip, what I might do is get like maybe not a deli cup, but something similar size to a deli cup, but be like solid, like black out, so that way you could cup them and have them just calm down underneath the cup before you take a picture. I don't know if that would work or not, but
I mean, you see me with a planter base. I bring my planter bases.
Yeah, I was thinking something even smaller because those small salamanders can be really small. Planter base. Planter base have a lot of place to move around to keep active.
I mean,
active, but
I got a buddy that poses snakes with a frisbee. He has a frisbee in his bag, and he'll like pull the frisbee out and put it over the snake, and just wait.
Same concept. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, man, that's something I always admire you about, Zach. The freaking macro photography of the salamanders, because I know they give me gripe all the time when it comes to photographing. I know the struggles it is. I mean, geez.
Dude, they're a pain, but they're some of my favorite things to photograph, especially just because there's so many where I live. That like I haven't done it much this winter, but usually all winter I'm like taking pictures of salamanders and stuff like that. But the weather has been so cold that like I just can't justify getting out and looking for them, unless somebody rouses me out of my house to do it.
Sure, man. Well, you spoke on Plecodontids, but you also spoke on how you love desmogs. What's your fascination with those guys besides
Well, let's see. What pictures of desmogs do I have in here? Sure, we can use that one as a perfect example. Go back
just look
past
at
the
spring. Spring. That's spring, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that spring is awesome though. I found 12 springs that night. That's also a mud salamander. But if you go back past that spring, there you are. So that is a Cumberland dusky salamander, which is only endemic to 3 or 4 counties on the Cumberland Plateau in Tennessee. Real cool. Now, desmogs to me, I mean, look, dude, they're all brown. They're all brown salamanders, but some can wow you. I know I included it. I had a picture of a red Carolina Mountain Dusky in here somewhere. Or maybe I didn't. Who knows?
I mean, just to speak on the Ramblers with this specimen that Nate pulled up, I mean, it just looks like, I can't even describe it, like leaf litter / lichen.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it has like those lichen splotches along its back.
Yeah, the twin spotting. So these, Desmognathus are a super, super hardy genus of salamanders. They live in almost anything. I have a running joke that they'd live in the bottom of a trash can as long as there's water in it. They seem to live in some of the most polluted stuff that you can find, and their variation is impressive if your eyes are trained to them. You can see like this animal. I mean, it's not the most colorful individual in the world, but when you get a macro lens and some light on it, you can see the twin spotting, the like gold patch in between the eyes. Like you wouldn't see that if you just took like one glance at them. The stripe down the tail. I enjoy them mainly because of their natural history, their ability to eke out an existence in every variation of montane habitat, and hell, even just habitats in general. Like they range all from Canada all the way down to like, the Florida Panhandle, and live in cypress swamps and montane streams.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, and the fact that there's so many species, and the more we take their genetics and do studies, we find that there's more of these cryptic, it's like cryptic biodiversity in and all of our known species are species complexes. Yeah. The Smokies has several endemic species of desmogs, like the Cherokee black-bellied salamander. I don't know if it's like endemic to the Smokies per se, but we have the Desmognathus intermedius, the western shovel-nosed or central shovel-nosed salamander. So we have a lot of interesting forms of desmog, and when you like attune your eyes to them and actually spend time looking for them, you start to notice the differences between each species, even in their own individual complex. So like I can look at a black-bellied salamander now and tell you, oh yeah, that one's from the Smokies, or that one's from this mountain range. I can tell because of like the background color of the salamander. Like,
yeah,
they're really cool animals that I think herpers overlook. And I learning to identify them is kind of what made me fall in love with them. Because it's like, okay, there is always something for me to look for as long as I have these things.
So you almost kind of fell in love with the grind.
I did fall in love with the grind. Yeah. And now I have to like find every species of them that's currently described, because we get new ones every week, it feels like. But they're a lot of fun to hunt, because even if look, they're easy. They're so easy. You flip over a rock and there's like 12 of them under it. Like they give me something to look for that's easy and fun.
I mean, yeah, man, I have this probably compared to both of you guys have the smallest sample size experience out on the field. But when I was in the Smokies for 7 days, I mean, I shit you not, every day I was out flipping, and like almost every
rock.
time, almost
Every
every
rock.
time I would see something
Yeah.
that was like either plesiodontid looking or desmog looking. I was like,
Yeah.
I was in heaven.
Yeah, dude, they're everywhere. And like, dude, I live 10 minutes from the national park. So I see them, every time I go outside and flip a rock in a stream. And so I was like, when I like started to learn to identify them, it just gave me something to appreciate, because you find like, oh, well, this animal looks like this species. Well, because of its habitat, you can tell that it's not. And here's the identifiers of the animal. They have black toe tips, which are keratinized for gripping onto rocks and fast currents. Like they're super cool when you like look into the niches and look at them through a different lens of, oh, this is just a brown salamander. I think I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
I mean, that's why I wanted to bring you on tonight, for you to share your enthusiasm, because a lot of podcasters say the same thing, like we don't give enough love to amphibians overall and salamanders particularly. But when you really get in the nitty gritty of the grind of looking at them and learning about them, they really are a fascinating group of animals.
Dude, they're incredible animals. I call myself a snake hunter, but I do really love salamanders. I love looking for salamanders. Just past the traditional like ambystomatids and stuff. Like there's something about like plethodontids and desmognathus that just catch my eye, unlike any other reptile or amphibian. Because my favorite animal of all time is a hellbender, dude. Like there's nothing like them. So it's they are very, very interesting animals, and just the way the habitat niches that they fill from 6,000 feet in elevation to sea level and below sea level is just unique beyond compare.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been curious about, salamanders as a general, their life history. Like, how often do these guys eat? What were they doing most of the year once breeding season is over? I would assume up more like the montane species like we have here. I would assume they're pretty active year round, besides like the cold winter days.
For us, if the temperatures are below 30, they become harder to find. But here they're active year round. I can go out probably any day of the year, flip rocks in a spring head or a seep or something, and find desmogs. So like they always give me something to look for, and they're always active year round because the water temperature stays the same year round. So it's super cool stuff to see them doing different things based on the time of year.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, how long ago was it when they infiltrated the Appalachians? Because talk about an old mountain range. Yeah. It's the oldest, isn't it, in the nation? It's the oldest.
I believe so. Yes.
I talked to my cousin. He's a plant guy. And he's telling me that it might be, in terms of still being a mountain range, it's the oldest. But I think it's like the hills in like eastern Oklahoma or something like that are technically the oldest. Are the oldest. They're just no longer mountains because they've been worn down for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I think you're talking about the same formation that also goes up into Arkansas and a little bit of Missouri.
The Ouachitas and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Wichitas, yeah.
I'd double check with him again, but yeah,
I think it's a Cambrian period for the startup Appalachia.
I think that I think the Appalachians was more like maybe like more like Permian or.
I mean, I think I sworn it was either Ordovician or Cambrian, like the start of it.
Yeah, I know nothing about all that. But on the desmog front,
I was gonna say, speaking of just crazy connection with Appalachians, I don't know if Zach knows this or not, but do you know that the Scottish Highlands are actually connected to and part of the Appalachians, at least historically?
Sure do.
Yeah, I think also I think also like the
Whoa.
mountains of Greenland as well are part of it as well.
Yeah.
But
And it's interesting that most of the like settlers around Appalachia that came to Appalachia
Irish,
are
yeah.
Irish or Scottish.
yeah,
So,
Full circle. Huh.
but on the Desmog front, and you talking about them infiltrating Appalachia, I don't know if this is the case. If there is some Desmog head watching this that knows more than I do, if somehow David Beamer stumbles upon this and I say something terribly wrong, forgive me. But I believe that Desmog natives originated in Appalachia and spread throughout the coastal plain and the Piedmonts over time. Which and that would explain why the mountains have the higher density of Desmog native species the way they do.
Yeah, I mean, I speak up we're in the age of snakes, but we also are in the age of salamanders as well. It looks like.
at least the continent of salamanders.
If you go to the next slide, there's the greatest animal on planet Earth.
Left or right?
Right. No, it's showing a spring salamander. It shows a hellbender for me.
Ah.
Huh. It's around there somewhere.
What did you guys call them off air?
There you
Appalachian alligators, is that what you call it, Nate?
Yeah, Allegheny alligator is what they're
Allegheny
called.
alligators, yeah.
That's a little one. There we go. Both of them are just. Have either of y'all ever seen a wild one?
Oh no,
Not yet.
Just a couple of months ago at the St. Louis Zoo. Fantastic herp collection there, and yeah, they have a few.
Dude, I can make that happen for y'all. They're just. Those things have been around for 160 million years unchanged.
Yeah, and their closest relatives are all the way over in Japan and China.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're only relatives, actually.
Yeah. Actually, they're called hydromantes, I think. They're like an alpine salamander genus. They're also one of the closest relatives of Cryptobranchidae, and they're like a terrestrial salamander. It's real cool.
Oh, to look into that. But yeah, unique group of sows we have here.
Yeah,
Cryptobranchids are incredible.
The only salamanders that have external fertilization, among other things,
they're so cool. They're so cool.
And they're kind of like the poster child for why you don't want to stack freaking river rocks or anything of that sort. I mean, because you can speak to the exact why, because they utilize that kind of.
And it doesn't help that hellbenders exist. Like their habitat preference is just great swimming water for people.
Yeah, I mean,
I always say it's a good day for hellbenders when the inner tubers are out.
Because they force all the snorkelers away.
They don't. I mean, they do, but also I have some real crackhead theories about hellbenders. I think they bask. And this sounds wild, but like every time, like I've talked to a bunch of people that have found like hell, because most of my hellbenders I find out on the crawl. I almost never flip for them. In the Smokies, I don't flip for them. I only, snorkel them up. And I have snorkeled for hellbenders. Dude, in the summer, I go almost every day because I live so close. There are hellbenders 15 minutes from where I live. So like, why would I not? That being said, the majority of surface activity I find is on sunny days, and they will always be sitting in the patches of sunlight. So I don't know if it's like basking per se. It might be them sitting in the patches of sunlight on purpose to like obscure their pattern and like obscure their shape in the water. But the majority that I find are always out on sunny days. I've found 50 hellbenders in the last 6 years. And only 2 of them have been out on overcast days.
Note to future self.
Something to think about. But so when I see them out crawling around, because that's how I see the majority of mine is out crawling around on the bottoms of the rivers, they're always crawling around in the patches of sunlight.
Do you have like an underwater camera or?
GoPro.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. GoPro.
I was gonna say, do they make like cases that you could
They
put your
do.
phone in or something like that? It's like
They
Yeah.
do.
you need to get me one of those. 'Cause that's probably cheaper than a GoPro, but
Yeah,
Might come in
definitely.
handy too. If we do this trip, might come in handy too, Nate. But
Yeah.
those are really interesting field notes. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of people discussing, whether it's obviously thermal regulations is something common with cold-blooded things, but with like sows in particular, you don't really hear of basking.
Yeah, and I don't,
nice.
I don't know if basking is like the right term, but they're always sitting in the sunspots.
Yeah.
would you say there might be the apex predator of their streams systems?
I would say so.
So,
I mean, there's a picture of one from East Tennessee. It's real famous. It's got a water snake in its mouth. Have y'all seen that picture?
I have
There's
not.
a
No.
picture. There's a
think I
picture of
did
a
years ago.
hellbender eating a northern water snake. And I would say they are once they reach a certain age.
Man, the Metaposaurus never went extinct, man.
No, dude, when you swim with one like
Ooh,
in the
super
wild
spread.
and you're like freezing your ass off in a a really cold mountain stream, and you're swimming with one and you see it do its stupid float around, like they float around and like crawl along the bottom, like they look like Muppets, but they feel like you're swimming, like you feel like you're swimming with something that knows way more than you do and has seen way more than you ever will. It's the closest thing to a spiritual experience I've ever had with an animal.
Oh, dude.
I feel like you're transported back to the Carboniferous almost.
Dude, yeah. You feel like you are taking a swim through time.
And then you pull your head up and you see a raccoon, not a raccoon, a possum going, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm back in Appalachia.
Yep. Dude, I love possums. I have a stuffed animal possum in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I adore possums.
But yeah. What was it? I was going to say with that. Oh, I lost my train of thought.
Happens to me all the time, man. ADHD gets me real bad.
Yeah. OCD, or as true possessors of OCD call it, CDO, because it's alphabetical order.
Yep.
And tisms, of course, like I keep making this joke. I don't know if you've heard or not, but after RFK said we found that Tylenol causes autism. Or however he put
I
it.
don't even want to think about that, man.
But I like to say the reason I'm into reptiles is because that was the flavor of Tylenol my mom was taking when she was carrying me. But
Dude, my mom took so much Tylenol when she was pregnant with me, and it shows.
it's like the trained people had the boring, bland flavor of Tylenol. We had the I don't know, tropical fruit punch flavor of Tylenol. That's what made us.
Gee.
Yeah, man. I
The engineers,
but yeah,
the engineer nerds got the generic Tylenol.
yeah, the Walgreens brand. But yeah, dude, having hellbenders so close is a blessing.
You're situated well, man. To reiterate, you're situated well.
It is. East Tennessee is a beautiful place. And to all herpers listening to this, never come here. It's terrible and awful, and you never find anything. It's terrible.
And to all the Californians and New Yorkers, it's also a terrible place. You don't want to move
Stay out.
there.
Stay out, dog. Stay out.
I heard Florida's real welcoming.
Florida's real nice. Real well run. They love California.
Low property rates. I mean, you can't be.
Yeah, man. No bugs at all.
And from what I heard, it's pretty empty as well.
So. Yeah, there ain't nobody down in Florida, man.
Yeah, but like I've made this joke before. It's like I don't mind. Everyone likes the dogpile in Ohio as a meme state. I don't mind at all. It tricks all the Californians and New Yorkers to not want to move here. So
California, New York, Michigan, Ohio. That's like the biggest out-of-staters I see here. Yeah. And it's not a problem, man. Really, I don't have an issue with it. But just pull over when you're on a mountain road out here and let us pass if you don't know how to drive here. It's okay.
Well, one more thing, call them Allegheny alligators, but obviously, this has kind of been not in the news per se more often, but I see it come up a bit more with actual alligators, I guess, quote unquote, starting to migrate into Tennessee. Do
They
you
do,
know
yeah.
a little bit on that?
Yeah. So alligators do exist in Tennessee, but their numbers are very low and they are naturally expanding their range as much as a reptile can. And if any reptile is going to naturally expand its range, it's going to be an alligator. They're
Yeah, I mean,
big,
especially
they're
since we have evidence
intelligent.
of them. What?
Yeah.
They used to be all over the nation, like out in
Yep.
the Badlands and even Southern Illinois. I mean, it
Yeah.
just makes sense for them to kind of reclaim
Yeah.
now.
But there have been a couple of animals found in Tennessee, and I hope they're breeding. I would like to see them.
Yeah.
They've been found around Memphis in the Wolf River. And listen, I don't mind saying they're found in the Wolf River because if anybody wants to go try, good luck.
It was the Wolf River like a bad neighborhood, or?
I mean, all of Memphis is big dog.
Okay.
It's Memphis.
I was gonna say bad by Memphis standards or not, but
no, it's standard by Memphis standards.
so don't go there.
And honestly, that's not the only place they're at, but obviously for most naturalists and workers in that industry, it's hush hush, and they want to protect the gators.
Yeah, but if you see one in Tennessee, consider yourself blessed. They are naturally expanding their range, which I think is cool. I would like to see an alligator in the state, naturally occurring in the state before I die.
Yeah.
Same thing with alligator. Same thing with alligator snapping turtles in Tennessee. I would like to see one of those here before I die.
How rare are those? Like real rare?
Very. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like one or two gets found every couple of years. And it's usually a redneck that's like caught it on their fishing line and be like, look at this snapper turtle I caught.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, man, cool.
Yeah.
And some of them know what they are, which is real cool. And they'd be like, no, I let it go. I know it's protected.
It's like I don't want to visit for the game warden.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to deal with no game warden. Because TWRA will come after you if you do anything to turtles.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing an alligator snapping turtle is higher on my priority list.
I just remember seeing this one scene from Duck Dynasty when they had like an alligator show up in the barn. Well, it's outside of alligator season, and old Phil's just like, that's just a walking ticket right there. We need to leave that alone.
Yeah, it is a walking ticket. But yeah, the alligators in Tennessee are real cool. I hope they do establish range here and establish breeding populations.
I know it's not going to happen, at least in my lifetime. But man, it would be so cool if we had alligators expand all the way up to the Ohio River Valley, all the way.
Never say never, man. Climate change is
all it takes is one redneck to let a pair go.
Dude, there's been so many let go in Ohio over the years. But there's one from an INAT observed of one that showed up in like a suburb of a river in the middle of Columbus, Ohio, from like a year or two ago. So
wonderful.
Yeah. And they're not gonna last up here in the winter. So.
One of these days, one of those Michigander gators will last. One of these days.
Yeah.
Maybe around maybe in one of those ponds around the nuclear plant set by Cleveland, but even that, no, they don't last up there. So if you do have an alligator illegally in the state, don't release it. I don't know what to do I don't know what advice to give you. I don't. I would say turn it over to the state, but at the same time, I know the state would probably bring the hammer down on you for having it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what advice to give you, man. I don't know.
It's odd. It's odd that Tennessee will let us keep crocodilians without permits, but not rear-fang venomous snakes. Just saying.
Yeah.
If
I was you, I wouldn't mention that on the podcast at all. I'll keep that hush hush before they also ban it.
You know what? They should ban crocodilians. If you're watching this, please ban crocodile. Please don't let people keep those. The rear fang venomous stuff, I really don't have like a big problem with it, but like don't let people keep crocodilians, man. It's just not worth it. It's really not. People are too irresponsible. That's how they get let go in urban Knoxville. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
Couple have been found.
Which species?
American alligators.
obviously.
But you can get a baby American alligator online shipped to your door now for $200 ship, dude.
I was gonna say I'm more connected to the crocodilian community than anything else. I've heard someone say if you pay, no matter how much you pay for an alligator, if it's more than 25 cents, you're overpaying. But
yeah, dude, alligators are dirt cheap.
Yeah, but I think it's more like the professional crocodilian community is like, man, you don't have to pay for them. You just have to wait for one that's like was surrendered to a state government. They're just looking for a place to send it. So
yeah,
free,
it's real.
so.
Yeah. But yeah, it's strange. But yeah, there are alligators in Tennessee, which I think is cool. They're just real rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because it is a cool phenomenon that's happening.
Yeah.
And it's natural. It's not human
Yeah,
influence.
it is natural. It is not influenced by us at all, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe a little bit influenced by us.
Yes, but you know,
it's
it
like
is
saying
not
everything.
I was gonna say the main reason I want to go to this road trip down to visit Zach is it burns more CO2, makes the planet warmer, so I get more alligators for the north.
Dude, you know what? My carbon footprint has definitely impacted by the environment, but it's for a good cause.
I get more snakes.
I get more snakes and more salamanders to talk about some other nerds.
You mean the more herping trips I get, the more snakes I have around me? Win-win.
Yeah.
Here we are talking about climate change like it's a universal good thing, but
if people get mad over it, they've missed the joke.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. That being said, the planet has been warmer, not that too far in the past, in like interglacial periods than it is today. So,
yeah,
we're just speeding up. So, no worries.
Time will only tell.
Time will tell. Well, you know, Zach, you definitely did your due diligence when bringing the photos of herps and whatnot. I don't think we're gonna get through all the sows.
Yeah, no.
I really wanted to hit a bit more of them, but you know what? That just gives us another excuse to do round 2. Maybe more heavy on the sows for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, we can.
So last time we had you on, we didn't do this with you or even Chaz, or did we, Nate? When it came to our final question.
Let's ask him and see if we did or not. Did we ask you what was if you had a but money's not an object, dream herping trip anywhere on the globe, where would you go?
Oh, you did ask me this, but I'll say it again. It's not where I would go, but what I would look for. Okay. I don't care where I find it within its natural range. But I just want to see an Egyptian cobra before I die. That's it.
Okay. I was going to say that's like half a continent to choose from.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. So anywhere in Africa that has them, I will go. That is not war-torn and risks me dying.
Okay, that does eliminate a bit of it, but...
Yeah.
Well, what's your affinity with that specific cobra?
Have you all seen Africa's Deadliest Snakes, the Crocodile Hunter documentary?
Oh, yeah. That was that real rambunctious one.
I have seen that documentary, I kid you not, probably 3,000 times in my life. And I'm probably lowballing it. But that Egyptian cobra scene has cemented that as like, I have to see one of those before I die. Because it was just it had such a big presence for a snake. And it was just an incredible animal. And I don't really care about any other cobra other than those. But obviously any cobra would be cool to see. But Egyptian cobra, anywhere I could go look for an Egyptian cobra, I would do it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so that's
plus it was a snake that killed Cleopatra, right?
Yeah, supposedly.
Probably, yeah. I mean, if I had to choose death by Egyptian native species of snake, it probably would be Egyptian cobra.
I mean, does Sibay or do any of the rock pythons make it in Egypt?
I was gonna say choose death by. I didn't say choose get bit by.
I mean, strangulation or venom. I guess venom probably. Well,
venom would probably be better.
I don't know.
That's a big question mark.
Think about it. I mean, you could get tapped out pretty quickly by a big constrictor if you got like the coil in the right spot. So
yeah, but I've had friends get bit by venomous snakes, and a buddy of mine got bit by a cane and was in the hospital for like a week. It was one of the neurotoxic populations of canes too, so it was not fun for him. But yeah, it would be an Egyptian cobra. Yeah, anywhere I can go to look for those, and hopefully see house snakes along the way because I keep those and I'm a big fan of those.
Yeah. I was gonna say, there's one species I wouldn't want to get bit by in Africa. It'd probably be puff adder, but
boom slang, dude.
Oh well, yeah, obviously, yeah. Forgot.
Do not
forgot
That's
about
pretty up there.
Forgot about
Don't even play with me, dude.
Forgot about the bleeding out of your eye holes. I forgot about that.
Literally everything.
I just had eyeballs because it's out of all the options, that's the least macabre.
Yeah, you bleed out of every orifice.
Of all the places you can bleed, your eyes and nose is the least grotesque of the
Yeah, that is the least grotesque, but like boom slang is a nasty way to go.
Yeah, not fun.
But yeah, so Africa. I guess my answer is Africa.
Yeah, see here. Okay, we're going to choose a specific place on the globe for you to go herping. Where do you choose? That. I choose that.
Whole continent.
Yeah, just the whole place.
Hey man, if we were all given a year, Africa would probably be up there. I'd probably change. It would either be. That's tough. I lied. I'd probably still stick with South America, but Africa would probably be second or third.
Yeah. For me, South America is like something that I could actually feasibly do. I have friends that do South America every couple of years, like, stuff like that. But like, not Australia, Africa, dude. I would do unholy things to go to Africa, the motherland, dude. Like that's where all humans come from. Like, plus I also love ancient Egypt. I really like Egyptology. So
sure, solid choice, dude. And also, funny enough, speaking on rear fangs, I remember for a time, it was the cousin of boom slangs, like thrassops, like black tree snakes. I remember people would keep them. Yeah, I remember people would keep them, and they didn't know they were venomous until a couple years ago when the paper came out. Like, oh no, they got juvenile glands and whatnot.
Dude, like, thrassops are pretty hot. They'll mess you up pretty good.
I mean, they look pretty hot, but for a while it's like, oh, it's just feasible if it's non-venomous. But now looking back at it and seeing that it is venomous, like, oh, maybe not. Never mind.
Yeah, thrassops are cool.
I was gonna say, it sounds like a lot of people avoided getting unlucky for a long time.
Yes,
I try to be that way with anything that looks like when I kept black house snakes, like they just looked hot. Like they looked like they would mess me up. So I'm just like, I don't want to get bit by y'all if I don't have to.
I was gonna say, it kind of makes herping in like South America a little interesting because so many of them are dipsadids of some sort, and not a lot of South America still has a lot of research to be done on like what all can pack a serious punch or not. So like you don't want to be the guy that picks up one random dipsadid that everyone thought was non-venomous, be like, oh no, this is now the South America version of a boom slang. So
like Zach mentioned, he mentioned Xenodon. I mean, I don't know if we know all the venom capabilities of every species in that genus.
Yeah.
I have a book.
And the false fertile lance turns out to be like, oh no, it doesn't need an implanted fertile lance. It's just it has bad. It just has to chew on you, give you a more painful bite beforehand.
My partner got me a book for Christmas that's called "Venomous Bites from Non-Venomous Snake." Like non-venomous is in quotation. Dude, it's crazy. Like they'll show like pictures of hognose bites, and people's entire arms are like purple
and all swollen up,
like. Yeah, so that book is real cool. I'll send y'all some pictures from it later. But there's some real cool stuff in that book, and that kind of fits what we're talking about. Like there have been people that have died from certain Hydrodynasty species.
Well, there's only 2 Hydrodynasty species, so
the other one, Bisinctus, the banded one or whatever.
The one that's not seen the trade.
The one that's not in the hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that's not a freshwater cobra.
I wonder why. Yeah. Or Philadries, like not just the Barons, but the other guys in that genus. They can kind of pack a punch as well.
Dude, Barons will mess you up too. People don't talk about it, but they'll mess you up pretty good.
Yeah, and they get sizable. So
That's why I stick with my Australasian pythons and North American colubrids.
you know what you're
For the
getting.
most part, for the most part,
bit.
after I just admitted that I'm going to be getting an FWC here soon.
I will stick to my North American Lamprey pelvis.
And our Asian rats.
Yep, Asian rats.
Colubrids. I mean, yeah, we at least know what we're getting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If
All
I was
right.
gonna say, if I'm ever going to get into venomous, I'm going to get into honest venomous, something that everyone knows is going to mess you up if it bites you. So
Crotalus. That's it.
yeah, Crotalus a little bit. I also was thinking Bothriechis, the eyelash vipers, stuff like that.
Yeah, those are cool.
The Paraday, they're at least they're honest. Except if we're talking about like mock vipers in Africa, those guys are not honest. Why do they look like that? And yet they pack quite a serious punch.
Yeah.
Or night adders, my bad, not mock vipers, but night
I
adders.
was gonna say mock vipers. Aren't those colubrids? Colubrids?
They are
like
colubrid.
Yeah, but night adders though, they're legitimized vipers. Just they look colubridish.
That or maybe I've heard everyone say. I've heard so many like experienced venomous keepers say, if you're going to keep it a venomous, keep a spittlefs, but I don't, maybe.
Nah.
Field nose, those cobras.
Those are like the coral cobras.
Yeah. No, those are pretty hot too. I heard.
Yeah.
But I just heard in terms of like keeping, but
they're pretty. Well, definitely this will probably spur on a venomous episode in the future, Ramblers. But Zach, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Guys.
It was a blast in an episode. Definitely gonna have to play this on repeat.
Yeah, man, I had a blast.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
If y'all want, we should do a milk snake episode. Like just a milk snake episode. I could talk about that for 6.5 hours straight.
Milk Snob Show. Okay.
Yeah, milk snob show. That would be fun.
get a couple other snobs, maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know some people would be down to do it.
Just
right.
I imagine the title now: Milk Snobbery with a fair
snobbery.
Milk Snobbery with assorted snobs.
Nobody's done a milk snake round table yet. So
well, it's more provocation to do it, Nate.
Yeah, man.
Well, all right. Well, again, ladies and lizardmen, thank you for joining us for yet another rambling. And as always, joined by my beautiful co-host Bryant. And
oh my gosh, I forgot. We did forget.
I was planning on inserting my pre-recorded one into it. So
okay. Well, Ramblers, we'll catch you for some more reptile ramblings on the next show.
And thank you once again for the lusciously maned Mr. Zach Davis for joining us.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Until next time.
Ciao.